So the new GoPro has a couple features on it that are absolutely mind-blowing. The first one is this auto leveling feature. You know, I started taking apart radios when I was like 10 years old, and figuring out how they work. Back then everything's transistors. There were still even some tubes in use as everyday electronics, and so I'm no stranger to electronics, technology, the advancement of technology. I've lived through all of this. But sometimes just features will blow me away still. It's just unbelievable. So the first one is this auto horizon leveling feature. Just a week ago, I was complaining to Tammy and Rob about how, I have to be careful here when I take pictures and video because you have to be level, or I have to fix it in editing where the ocean's going uphill in my picture or video or whatever. And it's tough to see the screen sometimes to make sure it's level. So this camera has this auto leveling feature, and then it also has this stabilization feature that I'll show you here. So I'm going to show you the video while I'm talking here, but it's it looks like you're carrying it in a gimbal. In previous GoPros they had some stabilization for 4K video and everything, and it worked okay. It was just not a big deal. This is like an entirely different level. And as you can see here, I'm just walking along carrying the GoPro on a little handheld tripod. There's no gimbal involved here, and it's so smooth it's almost like I'm floating. It's just unbelievable. And then let me switch the camera around here and I'll show you the auto horizon leveling feature. So hopefully you can see my screen okay there in the video, and you see I have it on photo mode. When I tilted it, the ocean goes uphill and downhill, which has been my problem. But if I put it on video mode, when I tilt the camera, it stays level. Look at that. That is crazy. Now if I jerk it, it'll go and then it'll go back. But wow, unbelievable what this thing can do. Just mind-blowing. So I was down by the water this morning working on my book. Go down there, I was sitting down there for an hour or two working, and started thinking about some things in business from my past and things that I've learned. And one of the things that I started to think about was fear and the motivation of fear. And I think we've all worked with people who manage that way. Basically, business owners and management styles that operate and manage people by scaring them and putting the fear in them that if they don't do their jobs, they're going to lose their job. Now, fear has always been a motivator, and the fear of failure, the fear of everything I have in my life I've pretty much worked for, and so I have a fear of losing everything I have or going back to being poor. Those are motivating factors. Now other people have just an inherent motivation to do things, and I have that trait too. I can't sit still. I joke all the time that I can be lazy, and Tammy says you're anything but lazy. You can't even sit still. And so I have kind of both of those traits, but fear is not something that anybody really likes, although it's motivating. And like I said, some managers, business owners like to motivate by fear and by just leading people to believe that if they don't do their jobs and they don't do the jobs the way they're supposed to do it and the way they want them to do it, they're going to lose their job. The other style of management takes a different approach, and this is something that I've always subscribed to, and that is that you give people the tools that they need to do their job. That you give them the expectations of what they're supposed to do in their job, and you stand back and let them get it done. And the reason that is such an effective method is people have their own ways to figure out how to do things and their own ways to be efficient. Just like you would not set up your desk, just like I would not set up my desk, you have your own way of organization. You have your own way of methodologies and how you would do things. One of the things, I joked last night, we went to dinner and we were at a Japanese steakhouse, and the waiter came over and he had a tray of drinks for the entire table. There was 6 of us, plus there was like 3 more people at the end of the table, so I guess it was 9 people total. And he had all Sprites to drink except for 2 drinks. And he asked who had this drink, who had this drink, and then everybody else got Sprites. And I made a joke that I would have hired that guy because he was able to optimize his time. It seems like such a simple thing, but so many people fail to do that. And when you allow people to have that control to be able to decide how they want to get their job done, as long as they get their job done and do it, performance-wise, that's at an acceptable level, most people will figure that out. Now, yeah, there's bad apples, there's people who are lazy, there's people who, no matter what you do, won't get their job done. They won't survive in either environment. But when you have good people and you're able to stand back and let them do their jobs, they'll generally flourish and do a good job at it, as long as they, A, have the tools they need to do their job, and B, they know what they're supposed to do, what their expectations are. So just reminiscing about management styles and enjoying the sunshine here on Monday the 13th. If there's anything worse than Friday the 13th, it's probably Monday the 13th, but we've kind of lost track of days here. It's like every couple of days, I don't know what day it is, and we're just, working. I'm working, Tammy's working, and getting some things done. Like I said, I can't share a lot of it with you yet, but someday I will. And I've already shared that I'm writing my book, and hopefully that'll come to fruition, and see some return out of that at some point. Maybe it's something a lot of people will want to read. Maybe it's something 5 people will want to read. But if 1 or 2 people read it, I'll consider it a success. Maybe it'll be a pleasant surprise later on. But management styles, fear, or setting expectations. Hopefully more people work under the latter example. Fear is not fun to be motivated by, I can tell you that.